Welcome, Sacramento soccer fans, to the State of the Republic podcast. I'm your host, Luis, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about yesterday's 1-0 loss at Monterey in a game where Sharon and I actually attended that match. And but we might not have that many thoughts about it here on this episode, but we'll talk about our trip as usual there, how things went there at the stadium this year, and then just briefly mentioned some of the things. I know there's, again, not too much to talk about yesterday's match there, but we'll talk just a little bit about it. Of course, we'll take a look at our two upcoming opponents because we have a really busy upcoming week. Wednesday, we play against Orange County, and then on Saturday is the USL Cup Final against Hartford Athletic. So lots of soccer going on in Sacramento, and so if you love soccer and you live in Sacramento or near Sacramento, then you have quite a few games to watch. But I would definitely say get your tickets for Saturday if you haven't yet. There's still a few left, but do not wait until Saturday because those tickets are going to be gone. The very few that are still remaining, at least there. But other than that, we'll talk about podcast winner dinner because standings have kind of changed. Rihanna is not going to be so excited to take a look at that, but that's just how this contest is, and we have another week of games and a lot more can happen. So let's go ahead and introduce our team here. We have our full house tonight, but first I want to go over to Texas with Jared. How's it going, Jared? How are you feeling?
I tell you, I'm feeling a lot better compared to the past week. I'll get into a bit with Guaza Grazia here, but I'm just looking forward to the next couple matches here. I really wish I could be in town for this coming Saturday for the Jaeger Cup Final, but unfortunately, Aftershock pretty much dug the nail in the coffin on that one. But we'll look forward on a couple of those matches. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better, and hey, hopefully you get to watch your championship win, right there in your TV, and you can come out and celebrate and get to see the cup and all that, right? I'm sure the cup will be in display somewhere, so you'll be up and close to that cup. All right, next let's go over to the city of Elk Grove with Sharon, who, you got back home, like at midnight, 1 a.m, I'm assuming. How are things going?
Going good. I had a great crew on the way home and on the way there for the carpool and the drive there and back to Monterey, and I took a nice nap that was very needed today, but otherwise everything is going good. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you had a few of our listeners and friends there in the car with you, and it always makes any drive better, right? Especially when you're going away matches, especially these that could be quite a drive out there. It's nice to have that and to reflect on moments that happen in the game, right?
Oh, that's what we talked about on the way home. We had all the stats. We had Danny's stats. Tina was texting the group, and we literally reviewed everything and then decided, let's forget about that. Let's focus on the future.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing because we have a lot going on in the final next Saturday, so you got to forget about what happened in the game. Well, speaking of the stats you mentioned, and someone who might not be as happy because there wasn't that much to report on, Rian, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm going to try and remain positive, and in doing so, I'm just going to say that I'm happy that this game is over, and I'm happy that hopefully the team has gotten all the bad juju out of them before this busy week of matches. But yeah, kind of happy, I guess. There's nothing really much in the stats, but I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to talk more Sac Republic with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, some may say that it's nice to lose, right? Especially after you won so much, because you got to get used to that feeling of having that one loss and not have that pressure of hey, we have so many games of not losing, and so sometimes, I mean, just to put a positive twist to it, it's probably good on the guys to be hey, we're not 100% strong. There's some things we need to work on, and this is your wake up call, especially before Saturday. So it might not be a bad thing, right? If we look at it that way. Well, before we talk about the game, let's go ahead and move on to Golazos of Gratitude.
And I will make mine quick because we have a Cruz Azul match that Luis wants to watch in less than 20 minutes. I just want to thank everybody for this entire week of birthday celebrations, from a 6-layer cake made by Martha Stewart's whatever, I don't know. My sister had things delivered that I was not expecting, to the folks that travel with me that made my week feel very, very special. Appreciate everybody. Had an incredible omakase menu tasting that I wasn't expecting on Thursday night, which floored me because it was like one of those things where you go to the kitchen, Rion, it's like that, but only Japanese. And then the trip down and back with Tina and Amy in the car, and then meeting up with all the friends in Monterey and just having a splendid day, irrespective of the match. I still had fun there because we had so many fans that showed up and so few Monterey fans, although their supporter section was really loud. We need a bigger drum. Anyhow, those are my galazes of gratitude. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate Chris. Notice the new earrings, Chris. Thank you so much. It was just good to be. It was good to be alive last week and enter my last year of my 60s. Yikes.
All right, I'm going to try and make this quick because I know it's going to be a little bit lengthy. I want to thank my Kilgore care team, which consists of Krista's Health, for emergency department, UT Health for urgent care, Walgreens for getting my prescription, and of course my in-laws for helping me get to my appointments, given the crazy situation that's going on. But hopefully some answers this coming Tuesday. Also to Rolling Smoke Barbecue here in Kilgore. You may have seen the picture of that massive turkey leg. Yes, that was one entire turkey leg, and I probably should have had a second one given the gameplay for this weekend. Not just for Republic FC, but also for Dallas Trinity. But anyway, if y'all in East Texas, you definitely got to get them. We're hoping that they're doing whole smoked turkey. So thankfully, the extra long Thanksgiving break. And also a big gratitude to Sharon for having a birthday win. I was hoping we could get you a win for birthday, but we'll have to try next year. Those are some of the biggest ones that I've got. What do you have for us, Rion?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and run through these as quick as possible. First of all, shout out to all the organizers of the Terra Madre Festival. It was just cool seeing all the entire city come out and show out support for the local farmers, slow food, all that good stuff. It was great to see. And then the Midtown Market was going on at the same time as well. So it was just cool to see the city come out for that. I want to shout out to the new ownership group of the MSL team that is coming to Sacramento in 2027, hopefully, and then the new Major League Volleyball team that's coming to Sacramento in 2027. Cool seeing more sports come to Sacramento. Cool seeing more things come to Sacramento. Can't wait to see those two teams come to form. Gonna shout out to the restaurant crew. We went there for my dad's birthday and it was absolutely phenomenal Japanese food. Sharon, you mentioned the omakase earlier. Yeah, just absolutely hands down some of the greatest Japanese food out there. If you have a chance to go. It's spelled KRU. They're in Midtown-ish. Some great food out there. And then one more to my coworker Elliot. He got me a new screen protector for my phone because my phone is busted. He didn't get it because of that, but we're playing this game and we need some privacy on our phones because we're playing it with a bunch of coworkers and it requires some level of privacy. So he got me that. So I just want to shout him out real quick. Luis, any golazos for you?
Yeah, for me, I actually have two goals of gratitude. First one goes out to Sharon for actually sharing that we would be able to actually get cheaper tickets thanks to being signed up to the team newsletter. That was really great. Helped me save $11 per ticket, and of course we were still sitting over there by the rest of the way fans. And then the second one goes out, and I wish I would have gotten his name, but a Sac Republic fan who happened to be walking from one of the permit parking lots in Monterey, who actually led me to find out that there is actually $5 parking at Monterey. So if anyone's going to a game next season out there, you don't have to pay the $23. There's actually permit parking, which is just a little bit more walking. I mean, you're only looking at maybe 2 or 3 minutes more walking down the hill, basically. So you skip the right turn to actually get into the parking lot. And then it's like your next left right away, and you'll see some cars to the distance. And it's like different, I feel like just school buildings that are there. And there's a machine, $5, bam, you're done. And you could just walk a little bit, which I feel like a lot of us need the walking, especially when you've been sitting watching the game for a while. So shout out to that guy who was like, hey, well, I got my permit online, but you know, I parked there. So that's just a cheaper option for y'all that I know the team doesn't advertise because that's not their main parking, but hey, the school will take $5 from you. Oh, so don't take the $23 parking there. All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about yesterday's game. And as I mentioned, I mean, looking at the stats, there really isn't a whole lot. But I want to go to you, Sharon, first, because you were there at the game as well. What were your overall thoughts on this match?
Can I say, effing Corey Bennett? Sorry. Why pull a yellow? You ended up getting subbed. No, you didn't get subbed. I kept wanting the yellow to get subbed. We weren't. It was a tough game to watch as a fan because we know that Monterey is bottom of the basement essentially, and then to go there and have people ask me, can you ask your stat guy? I forget his name. It's Rion. Can you ask him if we play worse on turf than grass? And it's like, I don't know the answer. I don't think that's it. I don't know what happened last night. I don't know why our level of play, except for our freaking defenders, were incredible. Lee with a high FOTMOB rating, Freddie Kleeman, high FOTMOB rating, all these guys that were working hard, but the penetration and having Luis Felipe with 2 shots on goal. Luis Felipe, who does that? Right, Rion? That was like, okay, that's not normal. We normally have Russell with attempts and shots and all these other guys, and then it's Luis Felipe, but not Corey Bennett. So it just was, but it was delightful to watch everybody, and it was delightful to see some of the cohesion in the back line when we just were in our own defensive third and not doing much, but kind of passing the ball around. I will say Monterey was gunning for us, and they put the pressure on. They were just running at us. They penned us in more than we penned them in. And when I was looking at some of the possession, like the ball possession, which we don't need a lot of when we're a winner. But when I looked at FOTMOB and I saw the ball possession stats, I was like, ooh, yeah, Monterey's kind of gotten into our half and had possession. I wonder how we're going to come back out at halftime. When we first came back out at halftime, I was a little happier, because it looked like we were changing this. We were changing the flow. It just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. But at the end of the day, the guys, what did Dan Casey always used to say? You either win or you learn. And I think we learned a really valuable lesson last night. Granted, we didn't have Seba, we didn't have Perano, and we didn't have Jared Timmer. And I understand Timmer might be in a boot for a while, so hopefully he heals up and gets better. But if it wasn't for Freddie Kleeman, Lee Desmond, JJ, and all those guys, this would have looked a lot different, I think. Luis, you were there too, and Rion, I know you said you watched the game and you've looked at the stats, and it's going to be a real brief stat overview, correct?
Yeah, so I'm gonna run through some stuff real quick. Russell Cicerone had the only shot on target for our forwards, the other one coming from Luis Felipe, which is a bit concerning. Corey Bennett only had 17 touches on the ball, which is a bit concerning for your forward. I mean, we don't see our center forwards get a lot of the ball, a lot like Sebastian Herrera, but for a player like Bennett, who he's not really a target forward, more like someone you can play off of. in terms of like actually generating like passes off of him. Like that's someone you kind of want to get involved in the attack, and to see him not register a single shot is a bit concerning. Freddie Kleeman had the best XG, had the best chance of the night in terms of XG, but that's coming from your defender. You know, you're not seeing that from Cicerone, you're not seeing it from Roro, you're not seeing it from Bennett. Like Cicerone was second best, but you know, I'd expect more going against Monterey, especially when the last time we saw Monterey, we generated the most chances we saw in the season with 26, I want to say. 23 shots we had against Monterey last time out. So this theoretically should have been a win, but Monterey came out hard, they came out fast. Johnny Klein was putting intense pressure on the Sacramento backline from early on, and that led to everybody else following suit. It's a tough game. It's always a tough game against your California rivals, but you know, that just means we have more to learn about this team, more room to grow. You don't want to be going into the season, going into postseason like perfect. You still want to be like trying to reach that peak, and there's still room to grow for this team. There's still areas to improve. So we need to work on that, and we need to forget what happened in Monterey. We have a busy week, and we need to go into Orange County with a fresh set of eyes and to continue going.
So you had mentioned a couple of things that reminded me of. I think we forgot a couple of elements that we had been working on, and that is the crisp passing and the passing to a player that's open and the getting of players open in the first place. I was talking to my sister, and it's like doors and windows. I saw more doors than windows, and there were times where even Roro would stand on the ball and look like nobody was moving for him, moving into open space, you know, and like ready to receive the ball and ready to pass it back off. And, you know, that crispness that we had in former matches where it was one touch, two touch, don't dribble the ball till you lose it kind of thing. We were better before than we were at Monterey. And pass completion rate and pass interruptions, you know, I think we were struggling a little bit there. I think we had great pass completion rate in our defensive third. Of course, we should. I don't think we got picked off very often there. I think there was a couple times where our guys slipped on the turf, and that went to a pass being intercepted, or, you know, where they were able to generate attack. Monterey Bay was able to generate attack. But I didn't see the crispness and the desire to move, pass and move. You know, it's literally pass and move. Wasn't seeing it. And even Jack was frustrated as all get out because he wasn't receiving the ball when he did get open. And then when he did get open and he had the ball, nobody was moving into either an open position or an expected position where Jack could work with it. There were a few times, yes, there were those times, you know, that it did work, but it didn't finish, you know. So I don't know if you saw the same thing, Luis, when you were there, or Jared or Rion, if you saw those little details that kind of frustrate when you saw it happen well the game before.
Yeah, to your point, like I saw the same thing. It felt a bit disjointed in the attack. And when you compare that to Monterey, who had the goal, like that goal was beautiful build up, one touch passing, cut through our defense. And looking at our chances created, like based off of that passing, based off of the attack, Russell Cicerone had one chance created, one scoring opportunity created, and that accounts for all the midfielders, all the forwards. None of the other midfielders or forwards were able to create. Jack Gurr and Lee Desmond had the other chances created for the Republic, and you know you expect to see more creativity from the team, and it just didn't look like it on the night.
Hey, our Tower Bridge Battalion was really fun, though. They had banners up, and, you know, not to switch subjects, but hey, they were fun, and they won the Heli Cup, and there was a production about that. So there were some fun things that were interspersed in. For me.
Yeah,
Luis,
Jared? I know Jared unmuted.
Yeah, I just watching this match. I mean, it seemed like there was a lack of attack compared to what we've seen in the past few weeks. So I'm not sure what has really changed between the 2-0 win we got in the week prior to coming across this. I mean, granted, I know it's the start of a long week, but this is a game that we really could have used the extra attack on, but. Like with Rian saying the stats there, I mean, Russell only have creating one scoring chance and against a team that hasn't won since July 11th previously. I'm just hoping this is just a one-off, a hiccup on the road to playing against Orange County this Wednesday and then the Jägermeister Cup final at home. So I don't know. I mean, I'm really hoping this is just a one and done, perhaps.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, I felt like the first half was a bit even, right? Felt like a 0-0 tie was in the works for the first half. Second half, I mean, it was all Monterey. I think even a tie would have been like unfair for them. So, and just as Rian said, right? I mean, Monterey Bay, they had good build up. They seemed like the right like team to get the win, and so I mean that's all I can really say is like I mean hats off to them. They played their game well. That's a team that I'm actually quite shocked that they're in the position that they are in. But I feel like over the years, Monterey's kind of been, unfortunately for them, right? They've been kind of lower in the standings, but they've had good teams, right? So I mean, this is a team that could probably compete against any other squad because they seem like they understand each other well. So I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, that's why I say when we go to a match and we play against a team that might be in last place, never feel like you got the win already, right? You always got to play the games and never underestimate any team, regardless of where they're at in the table, right? Or what their recent form is like, because they can surprise you. And, not all last place teams are terrible. Sometimes they're just unlucky and they just, don't happen to have a good shot on target, right? So that was that. But I mean, other than that, it's really something that we just need to move on from, learn from. I know some people were asking, as you mentioned earlier, Sharon, about the whole like artificial turf. I don't really think that's a situation with us because I feel like, and looking back at the matches, I mean, I can't like pinpoint exactly which matches have been on artificial turf, but we've been doing good. So I feel like we've gotten wins in artificial turf, and we can't really use that as a excuse, right? Because at the end of the day, we didn't have enough opportunities, and the pitch isn't gonna ruin your opportunities, right? It's the opponent that's gonna, like block your opportunities from happening. So that was that. But let's go ahead and just quickly look at the goal that they actually like score on us here. Happens in the 71st minute of play. So I think at this point, a lot of us maybe thought this is probably going to be a tie match. Although at the same time, though, I did have a feeling if we don't correct our like errors and we let them keep on doing all these passes accurately, they're probably going to score at some point, right? If they keep on getting all these opportunities at goal. And that's exactly what happened here in this goal. And gotta say, the one thing I didn't like, and I know I've said this before in other like episodes and past months, other times, is that we went back to ball watching in this goal, right? It seemed like everyone was like letting Monterey do their play, get to have that goal scoring opportunity, and I mean, the player got to the point where like Danny couldn't stop that, right? I mean, we're talking about a player just having an open shot at Danny, and he pulls a pretty strong shot right there at him, and just right to the corner where Danny couldn't get to it because the play buildup happened so quick that it surprised them, I'm sure, right? I mean, we typically don't get goals scored on like this with so many like passes back and forth, but they did it, and that's how they got their goal. And what do you guys think? Oh, you're on mute, Shen.
Yeah, I figured that one out because I'm sitting here on mute. I just put my head down and just sat in my seat and just kind of look left, look right, watched them celebrate, watched our team also put their heads down a little bit. and just kind of cross my fingers that our guys were going to pull a goal back at some point, but it just didn't happen. What can you say? Beating a dead horse at this point is beating a dead horse.
Yeah, just watching the replay, it looks like there's just a lot of space being given, and Monterey has the creativity to fire off that set of passes like that. Hats off to them. Great goal from them.
Yeah, and with less players too. On top of it, we had more players though back.
Anyhow, moving on.
Yeah, so that was that. That was the 1-0. That's all that happened in this match, and just something for the team to correct.
Wait. You guys were there. What were your thoughts on the penalty shouts? By the way, I'm curious about that.
The what?
The penalties. There were a couple penalty that happened in the boxes that weren't called.
No, I don't know, when watching the replays, I didn't see, because they showed replays as well.
Oh.
I don't know. I know the team. I know Russell was frustrated on one of them.
Yeah, there was one that was kind of a handball, and then one that was a really bad foul.
Yeah, I mean, I remember us kind of asking for a penalty kick on like you said, on 2. I will say that at the stadium they didn't have a replay on the big screen like they usually do at Hartford Park, which was a little frustrating. And my dad was saying we don't have replays up there. So for us there at the stadium, I mean, of course we're gonna get disappointed because we're gonna believe that the players have of course a better view and they're gonna actually realize that. But yeah, I mean, without having that luxury of having that, it was difficult. But in this match, I mean, I don't want to go and complain that we deserved penalty kicks, because I feel like we lost it ourselves, right? I mean, I think even if the penalty kicks happens, I feel like even Monterey would have actually flipped the game and still get the win. It's just how I'm feeling. Even with the penalty kick, I don't think it would have changed things. So yeah, I mean, that's all that went down. I will say the one thing that I hope we don't see more of, because I don't think it's great, is seeing some of our players actually arguing with each other.
Oh,
Sharon, you might remember that. Maybe you guys didn't see it on TV, but 2 of our players, I won't even mention names, they had a back and forth exchange, and we were of course right there up close and in front of it too, just experiencing that. And
Neil had to break it up. Yeah, Neil had to kind of break it up.
So that was that. And then there was another moment where I observed coach actually talking to Lee, and they had a little back and forth, and Lee was actually responding in a back and forth way there. Yeah, and I was like, I mean if they get along like that, it's cool, but it's also something of concern, right? When you see because I don't remember any players bickering at Mark Briggs, at least in public, right? I mean, in private you could do whatever you want, but in public right there, it's a little different, right? Yeah, Rian?
I was curious, was that happening on the bench, the players, or on the field?
On the field.
Okay.
It was a play that happened. One player got angry at the other one responded back. It was a little back and forth, yeah. So
the frustration was definitely boiling over when it just was the team was just frustrated. You could just tell they were frustrated. But hopefully they'll get that all out of their system for Wednesday when we play against Orange County, because Orange County plays is kind of chippy. I mean, they'll come after your ankles, and they're it's a California team and it's a California rivalry. They don't want to go home as a loser, right? So Wednesday's going to be tough, and I will tell our guys, unite together, work things out, hug it out, do whatever you need to do. And, same with the coach. If hug it out.
Yeah, basically brush it off. It's a new game. You have to just focus on that. We are second place as we take a look at the standings still. And if there's maybe a good thing for us is that FC Tulsa actually lost against Indy 11 yesterday. So at least they're not moving up more forward than we are there. So there's still a chance to reach that first place, but we can't drop points because we're on that last stretch. So as it stands, so first place, you got FC Tulsa with 26 games played, 47 points. We're in second. We have one more game left to catch up to them with 25 games, 41 points. For y'all who are into statistics, there's 5 games left, meaning there's only an opportunity of up to 15 points max left in the season. So our max point in the event that we would obtain all 15 would be 56 points. That's as much as we can get to this season. So with FC Tulsa being at 47, yeah, there's still an opportunity there. We, of course, hope they drop some more points to make it easier on us there. Below us, though, what are the teams that are in danger of getting close to us? You got New Mexico and Uncle Ruckus, both with same games as we do, 37 points. So they're currently 4 points behind us. So we do have a little cushion there, but I mean, don't keep pushing that because they will get close to us if we drop points again. And then below you got Lexington and fifth with 35 points. That's 6 points. They're behind us. And then El Paso, same games, 33 points, 8 points behind us. And then Phoenix Rising with 26 games, 33 points. Colorado with 26, 31 points. Orange County, who we play this Wednesday, they have 24 games, so one less game than we do, 30 points. They're going to want to get those points because they're right there on the edge of 8th place, and they have a game in hand to a lot of these teams. So they could be like looking at playoff territory if they get a win there as well. And also we have to consider if we want to clinch playoffs, this is the team that's right there, right? This is the team between them and Colorado who we're going to do the math with to figure out when we can actually clinch there. And then below them, you got Monterey, who just played. They have 27 games played, 28 points. So I know some people were saying they might still have a chance. I think they require too many results. I feel like they're still out either way. And then below them, you got Oakland Roots with 25 games, 27 points. And then Las Vegas Stone last with 25 and 25 points. So that's the table as it stands. And as I mentioned, we have 5 games left. Currently, Colorado's in 8th place, so they only have 4 games left because they have 26 games, meaning they can only get 12 more points, which means that they can actually only have up to a total of 43 points should they win all their matches, right? I think that's an important number, although you have Orange County there that kind of messes up the stats and whatnot there, but at least as it stands, Colorado and how far they can reach. Well, if we win a match, we could be at 44 points, so Colorado couldn't pass us. So if I'm not mistaken, you can correct me, Rian, because I'm just doing this on the fly. Is our magic number just getting 3 points and we clinch? So Wednesday win means that we clinch at this point, especially with Orange County being there on the edge?
God damn it. I knew this question was coming and I should have had the answer.
Pressure's on ChatGPT. All right.
So Colorado's okay, so let's see, comparing to Colorado Springs. So they lost yesterday. So last week our match number was 6 points heading into the Monterey match. Them losing gets 3 points off of it. So yeah, that would be 3 points is our magic number right now.
Oh, cool. So there you go, yo. Easy. Get the win, clinch playoffs, and you have a final on Saturday. That would be perfect, right? So team get motivated because you could clinch playoffs on Wednesday right there as well.
I got to give credit to John Crawford in our chat because he actually did that math for us last night late after the match. And Tina was reading it on the way home. So Luis, had you not muted our big chat, you would have seen it. Because I know you mute that chat. I know you would have seen John Crawford and you wouldn't have even had to pull Ryan GPT up. Or Rion GPT. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think your GPT name is Ryan. Whatever. At this point, I want to talk about podcast winner. And no, actually, I want to talk about Louisville. No, they're awesome. They're excellent. They're perfect. Now, I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to talk about Charleston. I don't want to talk about anybody on the East Coast. I want to get moving. I want to do our predictions for Wednesday and Saturday, and start getting excited again to go see our boys. And well, they don't always wear Old Glory red, but whatever.
Yeah, and the season's almost out, right? I mean, we take a look at the 5 games left. Orange County on Wednesday, Hartford on Saturday, and then you got visiting Hartford, right? But now the other match, they could have made that a 2-leg final if they wanted to, because it lent itself to it. And then we travel to Kentucky on the 17th at Lexington, and then we come back home, which is great. Right? You have 2 games at home, all in 1 week there on the 22nd and 25th. Again, Charleston against Miami. So, I mean, when you look at things, we have 3 games out of 5 left out of the league that are at home. So one would think, if we get the right results at home, we could clinch it, not just playoffs, but also a home playoff berth, right? I mean, the cards are on our side because we have 3 games out of 5. But again, I mean, anything can happen. It doesn't mean that we play at home. We have a good shot always, but I'm just saying, like it's better than having a...
Guys have to get the work done. The guys have to get the work done.
So this Wednesday, of course, we play against Orange County. Let's just quickly take a look at their form. They actually tied against Charleston better yesterday, a 2-2 tie. They lost against Uncle Ruckus at San Antonio 3-1. Tied against Lexington 1-1. Lost against Detroit 4-1. Tied against Mark Briggs' Birmingham Legion 4-4. And then lost against FC Tulsa 1-0. Again, FC Tulsa being the first place team. So, I mean, the recent form doesn't look great because they haven't really won since they beat Colorado August 16th. But again, there's a team that is on the edge of playoffs and, a game or 2 to catch up to like some of the teams up there. So anything can happen. And Orange County's always been tough, right? Doesn't matter what like their form is like. They've been tough, whether it's at SAC or at Orange County. It's a team that, I mean, they've been champions before, right? I mean, they have a winning culture out there. So that's that. But again, the game is on Wednesday, October 1st. Start time 7:30 though. So take a note of that. It won't be 7 p.m. 7:30, which is great because it's a Wednesday match. So it lets y'all who are going there after work actually get there with quite some time. So that's that. And then, of course, on Saturday, let's take a look at Hartford Athletic, who we play against in the USL Cup Final. That's on Saturday, October 4th, 7 p.m. Hoping for that birthday look again, manifesting it there. But their recent form yesterday, they went out to Colorado, which we know we were out there, and we still know it's not an easy place to play at. They actually also won 2-0, did a repeat of our 2-0 win. It's like they're copying us right there. Before that, they lost at home against Pittsburgh Riverhounds 2-1, beat Monterey 4-0. And now that we played against Monterey, we know the kind of team that they are. So not an easy thing to beat them 4-0. And then, of course, in the semifinal for the USL Cup, they beat Greenville 3-1. And then they beat Miami at Miami 1-0. So that's their recent form, which is, I'd say, kind of positive. I mean, aside from the loss they had against Pittsburgh Riverhounds, I mean, the last 4 games have been pretty good for them. So that is Hartford. But again, you got to travel out to Sacramento. It's a cross-country trip for them, so we got to take advantage of that on our side. All right. Well, the moment that Sharon has been waiting for, Rian wishes that we would skip it this week or that yesterday's results wouldn't count. But let's go ahead and talk about podcast winner dinner and how things are looking like. And then we also have to give our predictions for that because we actually have 2 predictions to give. Bonus points for the USL Cup. As a reminder, y'all, there's a lot that can happen here within this upcoming week. So our next recording should be interesting. But in this match, there's only 1 point to be given out because Sharon was only one to say Sacramento will get the first yellow card. And that's exactly what happened. We end up getting the first yellow card. So she gets 1 point. The rest of us get 0. So the standings are as follows. We now have a tie for first. Rian and Sharon are currently sharing the crown. And then we also have the tie for last. Me and Jared are still in the basement there with 29 points. But again, you got 1 week, you got 2 games, you got Cup that delivers more points. I'm still saying anything can happen here, especially with playoffs around the corner. There's a lot of points to be given out. But Sharon, for now, you can enjoy your tie with Rian there, and Rian, he might not be wearing that crown for too long. 'Cause you're right there next to him now. So that is that. But let's go ahead and give our predictions though. First, starting with the Orange County game on Wednesday. So let's go ahead and go in order of here, and then we'll go in reverse order as usual. So Sharon, what's your predictions for OC?
So I'm gonna be positive. I'm predicting it's gonna be a Sacramento 2-1 win because I think they have the ability to score. I believe my goal scorer Russell is going to be frustrated. He needs more goals because he wants to get back up on the goal scoring table. So I have Russell, and then as my backup for him because of what Luis Felipe did in Monterey. It's like, why not go with Luis Felipe? I don't care, throw it, crapshoot. And then my assist is Roro, and the backup is Jack, although it should be reversed, but who cares? And then my yellow, well, this is funny. I have it as Sac, but I also have Luis Felipe pulling the yellow. Whatever. I mean, because he can. I mean, he's got yellows to give.
Yeah, and he used to earn them pretty easily not too long ago.
Yeah.
Not this season, though. It seems like it's a little different. All right, Jared.
All right. Well, y'all know for years how I do not like us playing against Orange County, and the sentiment continues. Unfortunately, and please prove me wrong, I am gonna say it ends up being Orange County 1-0. If we do score, I am gonna say it's probably gonna be Lewis Jamison, and if he doesn't see the pitch, then I'm gonna go for Ryan Spalding. For assist, I am going to go between Nick Ross and Blake Willie. I'm hoping Orange County is getting the first yellow, so I'm going to say Orange County. And as far as our first yellow, I'm going to say Michelle Benitez.
All right. For my score, I think that we're going to see a rotated squad. I think coach is going to take Saturday's game more seriously, which I feel like that's what should be the situation. So I think we're going to see a just rotated squad, probably players that have never started in that, or at least started with each other there. So that said, I think we're going to see a tie match because, again, it's OC. So I think it's 1-1 tie for the first goal scorer. Again, being that it's going to be a rotated squad, I think it's going to be Lewis for the first one because I think he's actually going to start this match. If he doesn't see the pitch, though, I'm going to go with AJ Edwards. For the assist, I'm going to go with Ryan Spalding. If he doesn't see the pitch, then I'll go with Jack, although I have a feeling Jack might also be on the bench because, again, Saturday, and then this past Saturday. For the first yellow card, I'm going to go with Sac. And then for the first player to get the yellow card, I'm going to go with, let's see here. I'm actually going to go with Lee. Rian.
Alrighty, Orange County. The last time we saw them was early in the season where it was a 1-1 draw, and it was like that late goal that... Was it a late goal for Orange County that tied it up in that match? Let me double check.
I think it may have been.
Am I in the right one? No, sorry, it was 1-2 Orange County. So it's a tough match for us. It always is against Orange County. I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw here. I'm with you, Luis. I think it's gonna be a rotated squad. Lewis Jamison will be my first goal scorer with Cicerone as my backup. For assist, I'm gonna go with Cicerone and Gurr as my backup here. I'm gonna go with a Sac yellow, and then I think Blake is gonna get the first one. Just a heads up for Orange County, keep an eye out for Ethan Zubak. He's on 10 goals. He's the goal scorer for Orange County, so we need to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, we need to keep an eye on them because, of course, OC is going to take advantage of, I think, a rotated squad, which, yeah, no likelihood that's probably what it'll be. So we'll probably see Jared in goal. Would be my... Or sorry, not Jared in goal. Actually, no, that Danny would be in goal because Jared would be on Saturday. So they're gonna keep Danny busy, but Again, just because we have a cup game, I think that's the only circumstance. All right. Well, as I try and scroll through here, let's go over to the cup side of it too. So Saturday, the final game against Hartford Athletic. Let's give our predictions. Let's start with you first, Rian. Again, keep in mind 2 goal scorers, any order is the change, and then also penalties, yes or no, and who would win. Or
All
sorry,
right.
just that penalty team winner.
Okay.
So
Okay. So this is a little bit of a preview for my little article I put out for the cup matches. Hartford is a very good defensive team. In terms of clean sheets, they are one behind Sacramento in the league. Sacramento's on 11 and leading the league. Hartford is right behind them with 10 goals conceded. Sacramento have conceded 20. Hartford have conceded 29. They're like really good defensively. Anthony Siaha, their goalkeeper, is their like spiritual leader in that backline, and he is the heartbeat of the team, and he will lead that team wherever they need to go. It's a tough one to break down. We saw that against Rhode Island, where it was another tough Eastern Conference team to break down with their goalkeeper Coca Vegas. For Hartford, I'm gonna go with a 1-0 win in 90 minutes for Sacramento. For my goal scorers, I'm gonna pick Cicerone, and I'm gonna pick Roro. Big night, big occasion. Why not step up one more time for Roro? For the assist, I'm gonna go with Roro for my assist and Gur as my backup. For yellow card, I'm again gonna go with Sack as my first yellow, with Benitez getting that. And then if it goes to penalties, I'm gonna go with a Sacramento penalties to win. Just a heads up for Hartford, the players to look out for are Kyle Edwards and Mamadou Dieng. They're 2 great goal scorers for them. 11 goals for Edwards, 9 goals for Dieng.
all right. Well, as for me, I'm actually gonna go with the SAC 2-1 win. I know we don't predict when it happens. I have a feeling we're gonna go to extra time and it'll be 1-1, and we'll actually get the goal in the extra time. But again, we just predict final result. But that's what I'm thinking might happen with that score. For the first 2 goal scorers or any 2 goal scorers here, I'm gonna go with Russell as well. And then for another goal scorer, I'm actually gonna go with you know what? I have a feeling Jack's gonna get a goal on Saturday. Just something tells me Jack might get a goal there. For the assists, I'm gonna go with Nick, and if he doesn't see the pitch, I'll go with Jack. And then for the first yellow card, I'm gonna go with Hartford. For the SAC player to get the first yellow card, I'm gonna go with Freddie. I know Freddie, but it's the final, and I feel like probably gonna get the yellow card. And then for penalty kick winner, got to be Sack. I mean, we've been pretty good at most penalty kick shootouts that we've had, and I feel like Danny's always motivated when it comes to those. Or sorry, not Danny. This would be I keep confusing there. This would be our Jared would be the goalkeeper for this one. But Jared also, he's been doing great in the cup. He had the 2 penalty kick shootouts, so I think we're good, regardless of what happens, regardless of who ends up being the goalkeeper on Saturday. If for any reason Danny would have had to like step onto the pitch, we have 2 solid goalkeepers that know how to take care of penalty kick shootouts, which is big when it comes to that like scenario. All right, Jared.
As much as I would love to see this be a high shootout affair, I don't see that happening. But I am going to say I see Republic winning 2-1. Goal scorer, I'm going to have to go with the culture favorites, Russell and Roro, as far as this goes for my goal choices. For assist, I am going to go with Jack Gurr, and I am also going to say perhaps Cristian Perano for backup assist if he's not on there. Penalty, I am going to say for some reason it ends up getting Sack gets the first call. And then for first penalty, I'm going to say maybe just a little bit worked up in the beginning. I'm going to say Russell ends up getting the first yellow. And then if it does go to penalty kicks, Sacramento definitely wins.
Let me ask Rihanna a question. And Luis, there is extra time.
I don't think so. I don't
I
think
didn't
there
think
is.
so. So I have it as a 1-1 at end of
Okay.
regulation.
So they're going just directly to PKs then.
Yeah.
believe so.
So I
Okay.
have it as a 1-1 draw if we go straight to PKs. So there's something to think about. I thought that this kind of this cup was straight to PKs.
Yeah.
Okay. And so my goal scorers are Russell, and watching LJ coming on. I mean, he'll either start, come on the bench. He'll have some role for this cup as long as he's healthy. And it's between him and Dom that I want to share the goal scoring between Russell and LJ or Russell and Dom, but I can't make up my mind, so I'm going to go with LJ because I think Coach puts him in before he puts Dom in. But Dom was flashy last night. I like Dom. He's fast. And then my assist it's going to go Jack and then Roro as my backup. Yellows, I think it's Sack, but I think it's Roro because he always puts the team on his back. And that's what he showed us last night in Monterey. He put the team on his back and drew a yellow. Didn't like it, but he drew a yellow. And then, yes, Sacramento wins PKs.
All right. Well, if there's no extra time, then it looks like, it'll be really dramatic if we happen to go down the tying route. But there's a good chance it might. So I think it would be really golden for Sharon, right? If it was a 1-1 tie and then we also win in penalty kicks and then we claim both because
you guys, I would be so happy if any one of you got the score line right, because then it just takes the pressure off. It puts us squarely where we need to be in creating goals, creating chances, all those things. I'd much rather have it not end the way that I'm thinking it's going to end, because Hartford's hard. Hartford's a good team. So, we can't just overlook them. Anyhow, there you go.
Yeah. Can we please just have one game in this knockout and not end in a shootout? My heart can't take this.
Yeah, and you're going to be there, right? Rain or shine?
I'm going to be, of course.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Excuse me. Are you going to be there on Wednesday, Rion?
Probably not. I'd just be getting home as that game starts.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that game, it's going to be challenging, right? Just so everyone knows. I mean, we see the predictions there. We all, except like Sharon, but the three of us who predicted a win, we predicted a close game. So just so everyone's aware, it's going to be a really close match. And I think both teams, they understand it's a final game. You want to win it. And that's usually how final games are, right? It's going to be really close and dramatic. So hopefully they don't keep it too dramatic for us, and we don't have to, be hoping that.
I have one more request, you guys. I know that there were coaches' comments from last night's game, but I think in all fairness, we ought to, if Rion can share his screen, I think we ought to throw those up to see what the coach said. And, I'd be happy to read them or paraphrase them, or Rion can. I know that was very interesting for me, always to hear what the coach says and always what the players say, especially the captains, if they interview the captains.
God, I'm bad at putting these together. Give me 1 sec. I can pull it up. Share screen. There we go.
All right.
Ooh.
Look at that. So it looks like coach on yesterday's game, his thoughts. He said, I think maybe outside of our away game at El Paso, I don't think we've had any really off nights. I think the players have been on, but tonight the first half was okay. Thought we started well, but I thought in the last 25 minutes of a half, we definitely came on strong. And looks like we had a couple of really good moments. But in the second half, I really thought we'd come out on top. And then maybe after the first 5 minutes, I thought we just looked off. It was what I was saying earlier there. And after the goal, we were lost. We were probably even worse. I agree with that. Like, things just got worse off there. So there's not been many nights that I think we've been off. But I think tonight was a major off night for the whole group. we're at the point where we know what's at stake. But as I said, the players have put an unbelievable effort away from home, and maybe tonight it just caught up with us. I mean, just as we mentioned, right? I mean, they had an off night there and all that. Let's see. He talked about how teams are playing in a tight Western Conference. I think there's a time to look at the table, and I think there's a time to be aware of what you're playing for. We knew what a win tonight would have done for us, especially with the way other results went, but we weren't able to capitalize. This week is going to be so difficult. Every game, home or away, there's no easy ones. That's not just being polite and respectful of the opposition. That's the truth. The league table shows that Monterey Bay have a lot of one-goal difference games. Something to point out there again. What I was saying, I think they deserve to be higher. They've been on the wrong end of most of them, but then tonight they probably deserve. Today, I think we got what we deserved. Yeah, he saw that too. I mean, I couldn't expect them to see otherwise, right? Because it was pretty clear. No one could say that we deserved the win because.
Interesting that they interviewed Corey Bennett. Yeah. Since he pulled a yellow and was pretty irrelevant, but they interviewed him as well.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that Luis Felipe also got interviewed.
Yeah.
Luis Felipe thinks that they lacked a little bit of energy that they usually have, which is echoing what the coach says. Still had some chances but couldn't capitalize on those and got caught on a counter, and it was a really tough one. But we learned from moments like these, and we've got to move forward. We don't have time to feel bad. We've got to focus on the next one. And then also on the Western Conference, he says from the bottom of the table to the top, we know all the games that we play are going to be close. So if it's all about the little details, so it's all about the little details. And tonight, unfortunately, we couldn't create a lot. And on the only chance they had, they scored. So like I said, we'll learn from those moments and make sure those things don't happen again in the future. And I love that philosophy. It's Dan Casey all over again. If you either win or you learn. So thank you, Luis Felipe, for putting into that perspective.
Yeah, and I'm glad Coach gave him an opportunity in this match, right? Because I think we haven't really seen a lot of Luis Felipe, especially starting.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I was already concerned, and I still do think he's probably going to move to another team at the end of the season just because of, like, playing time and all that. But, hey, just give us your best effort if it is your last season, Luis Felipe, and, you know, we appreciate
I don't want to dwell on that. Let's not put a juju on the man. Let's move on.
I mean, hopefully not. Hopefully I'm wrong. Yeah, but it was great seeing him back on the pitch and, you know, giving it his all and giving that one opportunity that you did mention, which I feel could have been a really good one if you would have put maybe just a little bit more power to that shot. Could have been a goal. It looked like it was. I mean, it was a good shot, and we need more players to actually pull shots.
And remember, the players are also in their head a little bit with respect to the contracts, you know, and the union, and not having a deal with USL right now. So there's multiple factors going on emotionally and inside of guys. But at the end of the day, they all play for the crest, and they love the crest. They love the team. They love, you know, everything that's surrounding them. And I have to appreciate the fact that they will rise above, you know, the crap that goes on underneath, you know, with bargaining and all that other stuff, and rise above and just still play for the crest, still do a fabulous job. And we all still love the team at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tower Bridge Battalion for showing up in a big way, and, you know, everybody who traveled, not just TBB, but everybody who traveled to the match in Monterey. It was wonderful.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you mentioned that. Yeah, I mean, shout out to everyone who did, especially you guys out there in Sacramento, because I know it's a 3-hour drive that you have to pull to go out there, and we had quite a bit people that were there, right? I mean, not just in the Tower Bridge section, but you look throughout the stadium, even on the other side of where we were at. I saw some jerseys that were out there, so we were all scattered all throughout, and I also got to say shout out to the people working there for Monterey around the stadium, because they were really friendly, and, you know, they're really grateful that we made it out there, and, you know, wishing us well as we were walking out. So, yeah, really professional organization with the staff out there, and it's a really good experience when you're watching a game. Definitely recommend anyone go and make the drive out there if you're able to, and get to experience a match. hopefully next season, right? And we say hopefully just because you hear the rumors and you're like, you don't know if we'll see Monterey next year, but hopefully they still stick around because it's a really good experience out there. All right. Well, with that being said, y'all,
One last thing. Yeah, I'm sorry. One last thing. We posed a couple questions on our Instagram wall. One of them was about the Helicup trophy that we had already won before even going to Monterey, and it was for the supporters. So there were a couple people that were like, explain what the Helicup was. Well, it had everything to do with the team and nothing to do with the team. It had to do with the supporters riding on the back of the team's wins, their standings against Monterey and Oakland. So there are 3 teams that played in what we a fictional tournament essentially called the Helicup, because in Northern California, the word hella, we were the originators of that term. And thank you, Chris and Nick, for coming up with that. And so that we won it already because of our standings. Thank you, team, for making sure that, we took away more wins and points than the other 2 Northern California teams. So that's the Helicup. So, we got several people that were happy that, we did that. And then there were some people that we did ask, what were some of the positives from last night? Everybody said either the weather was great, the weather was beautiful, and it was. The Helicup trophy, winning that was great. Great fans traveling to Monterey, just what you just said, Luis. It was a great group of people that made the trip. A great group of people, period, that support Sacramento Republic. We love it. And we need people to buy tickets to the match on Wednesday and on Saturday and have a really good showing, like you already said. So those are my final parting words, because I posed those questions, and hopefully we'll see Trivia Tuesday this week, because that's always that's the most fun. What are you doing? I'm all done.
There was a lag right there with the camera there.
What are you doing? Yay, go public.
All right. Well, I got okay. All right. Well, I've got a little bit of Old Glory gumbo that I'll run through real quick. Of course, Rihanna alluded to the fact that MASL has selected Rancho Cordova as an expansion team starting in 2027. And also the recent Rancho Cordova City Council meeting did approve the go-ahead for creating a complex around Trade Center Drive and Kilgore Drive. So once again, the Kilgore connection gets stronger. This new expansion team will be fielding both a men's and women's team, because yes, there is MASLW. So we'll be glad to see any new developments that come across that. It is slated to be a stadium or arena that is approximately 7,500 capacity. So that's even larger than the Mullet Center at Arizona State University in Tempe, Arizona, which hosted the Coyotes for a couple seasons. Also, going back here to Texas, those of you that have somewhat followed the Atletico Dallas story as far as their expansion goes, the city that they were going to have their training facilities, headquarters, everything at in Garland, Texas, unfortunately, that deal has fallen through on the side of the city. The city feels that even with a $75 million complex that would be constructed in their city, they believe that it would not be a large enough return of investment on that land compared to if they gave it to other purposes. So although Garland is not going to be the headquarters for Atletico Dallas, they will still play a role with Atletico Dallas since they were there from the beginning. As far as where they're going to have all their complex now, that is still on the idea table. So they are still trying to sort that out. And also, last item, with my unfortunate record now with smoked barbecue, smoked turkey leg, and soccer, this pretty much kills off any chance I have of going to the State Fair Classico with Dallas Trinity FC versus Club America Femenino, because one, I know I'm going to be disappointed in the State Fair's turkey legs compared to rolling smoked barbecue, and two, Dallas Trinity played like hot brown butter against Lexington SC on the road. They ended up losing 6-1. So that's pretty much what I've got right now. And once again, if you can get tickets for Wednesday and or Saturday, definitely do it and go Republic.
Yeah, I have a couple parting words. More on the MASL stuff. Opening night for this current MASL season is November 28th. So if you want to get a taste of what you're in for, tune in. I think they broadcast on Twitch actually. So yeah, it's a fun watch. Go watch it. It's soccer in its most chaotic form. You're not gonna get a 0-0 draw at all in any of these matches. It's so fun to watch. What else was I gonna say? Also shout out to the USL broadcast team for highlighting the Hella Cup. They had a little moment where they like showed the trophy and like showed the records of the teams. So yeah, thanks for acknowledging the Hella Cup and making it like a real like league thing. And then finally, keep an eye out on the site. I have so many articles queued up. I have the match recap from Monterey. I have the stats recap since we hit another 5 matches in the league. I'm going to have the match recap for Orange County. I'm going to have the cup preview for Hartford, and then I'm going to have the match recap for Hartford. So, it's going to be a busy week for me. Please give me all the reads and all the views and all the clicks and do all that good stuff for everything I'm doing, please. And then, yeah, go Republic. If you can make it out to the Hartford match, you're not going to want to miss it. And yeah, go Republic.
Yeah, and speaking of the Hartford Athletic match, y'all, I'm going to say it again because you got to make sure to get your tickets if you haven't yet. And if you have gotten your tickets already, then tell a friend they need to get their tickets because it's not every day that you get to see a final, especially at home. And you just never know when that moment's going to happen again, right? Whether it's a cup final, whether it's a league final, getting hosted at home is a big deal. And so we need to make sure we are loud. I know we're going to pack the house. I have no doubt there will be a sold out, but we need to make sure that we're allowed 90 plus minutes. Make sure you're out there. Make sure you're wearing your gear. Let's try and give them, all the support like more than ever before because we want to get that trophy in our trophy case. You want to make sure that the 2014 championship trophy has another trophy. So it's not just one trophy that's there. We want to have another trophy there. We want to keep that trophy here in Sacramento. And so you definitely want to be there for that historic moment because, again, it's not every day you get to see these finals there. So get your tickets. I have them there on the screen. You guys could see if you're looking at the video version. There are tickets left there. You could still choose kind of where you want to sit around the stadium. But if you wait a few days, you're going to have to limit yourself to sitting maybe just on the end sides. So don't wait for that. Get them ASAP. And again, tell your friends and family you need to be at this match. If you miss another match, it's fine, but do not miss Saturday's match right there at Hartford Park. Tickets start at $25, and then they move up there depending on where you want to sit. So just about almost what they charge for a regular game, maybe a few dollars more. But again, this is a different stage in the game. So definitely be there and be loud. But with that being said, y'all, thank you so much as always for listening to our podcast or watching. If you watch the podcast as well, I know we do get a few views on there, but if you haven't seen the podcast yet, go check it out. It's on YouTube. It's also on sacsoccerpod.com. We have all the episodes on there. You could either listen or watch under the same page if you'd prefer, or you can listen to it, of course, on the app. Also, check out Rian's blog. As he mentioned, he's going to be really busy posting blogs like over the next week. So definitely go check those out. If you have Facebook, you can actually leave a comment on his blog. So we encourage you to leave your thoughts on there. Definitely fill the contact form if you have any thoughts of anything, just as you guys have heard here. We've had listeners who have actually filled it out in the past, and we want to know who you are as well. We've met a few people thanks to that contact form, so please fill it out. If you want to maybe like speak it, we have that voicemail option. It hasn't been utilized in quite some time, but you can also leave a voicemail on the website. You can record on your phone as well. You can review the podcast just as we had a listener do so a few weeks back. You have that option there as well. And then we'll display it there on the website. But yeah, other than that, if you're watching the video version of the podcast, you'll notice Sharon actually had Podcast Cat make an appearance. It's been a while since we've seen Podcast Cat, so another reason for you to go watch the YouTube version of the podcast is for you to actually see Sharon's cat, that one of two cats that has made an appearance here after a while. So go watch it, right? Because who doesn't want to watch a video of a cat, especially Podcast Cat, that has not made a video appearance since we used to have the live streams, right? So it's been quite some time. So there you go. Go watch it. So with that being said, y'all, we hope you have a good morning or good night whenever you're listening to us, and you'll hear us next week here on Stay of the Republic podcast.
Cue the music.